So from parasternal long, I'm going to turn short. So now my index is going to point more towards her left shoulder. I generally start at the apex. That's how I do my protocol. You are welcome to start at the baseline if that's where you, at the baseline. At the base, your protocol shows you at the apex, so that's generally where I start. Here, so I've just turned my probe here. If we see papillary muscles, we're not quite angling, sweeping through the LV far enough. We've got to go to the apex, so I'm going to keep on angling down. Generally, you're going to kind of lose your image here. You may have to crank your gain up or slide even further down. So here, this would be my apex image. If you were taking this and saying this is apex, that is not true apex. If I have a hard time real life everyday scanning, I will put an image here and I put short axis apex area. I show that I attempt that I'm scanning as far through of the LV that I can. So this would be your short axis apex. So you're going to clip store that. You're going to put color here where your septum is. Let me see if I can angle over and down. So here you can't quite see it, but this is right ventricle area. This is more of the septal portion of the LV here. So you were going to take a clip store and do your color. You're looking for any shunting or a hole that should not be there. You never know what you're going to find. I have seen a VSD here before, usually like post heart attack. So if I'm at the base, I'm going to angle slightly up. Now we're back at the papillary. This would be your next image. You're going to clip store here. You can even go up even more. You can clip store here. You're also going to put color here. Our focus is across the interventricular septal wall. So this is right ventricle. This is the interventricular septal wall area. You're going to clip store here. We're going to keep on moving up. So keep on. I really haven't moved my probe. I'm just sweeping. So I'm angling up further here to catch the mitral valve. You're going to clip store here. You're also going to put color across the interventricular septal wall. And then we should be back up at the base. So at the base of the heart, I have to move around to find yours. Kind of got all over my deck. Okay. So here we're at the base of the heart. So of course we should see tricuspid valve, aortic valve, pulmonic valve. You're going to clip store this at a normal depth. I did see a lot of this. Y'all have the window. This is literally what I saw a lot of. And you've got to be careful because, like I said, this is where my focus is pointing. Like this is where my eye's going to be. So you got to bring in your depth. And a lot of times when you bring in your depth, your focus will kind of come along with. It's going to kind of go where your depth is. So you're going to clip store this image. And we're going to zoom in on the aortic valve here. You're going to prove that there are 3 leaflets or 3 cusps. You're going to clip store this. Color across the aortic valve. You're going to clip store that, and then you are going to color over. Let me come out of my Zoom. Oh, I'm pressing too many buttons. And then you're going to put color over your tricuspid valve. Let's see if I can. This one can kind of be subjective here. You just don't want your box like this. As long as you've got it over the tricuspid valve. I did see some that look like, hold on, I'll show you. Like this, where the color wasn't quite over the tricuspid valve. So be sure that you've actually got your box over the valve. She actually has a little tricuspid right there, don't we? So you're going to clip store here, continuous way. I feel like that's true tricuspid regurg. Where's my update on this thing? Is it this one? Yes. Okay. Come over a little bit. Have a little tricuspid regurg. So I couldn't see it in the first image there when we did the RVIT. That's fine. Sometimes you can only catch it in one window. That's why you Doppler each one. So here, since I can see tricuspid regurg, I would go back. and do my TRV max, and I would do it here. It's not the true full, like I said, sometimes you'll get a window that it looks like you can almost trace it. If it's so minimal, sometimes you'll just catch, always like a whiff of tricuspid regurg. As long as you're documenting that you see a little bit, because if you can see it in your color image, you're going to be able to see it in your Doppler. And let's see, pericardial effusion, we're not even going to go over that part, because I would say we do that. Okay, we've done that, color Doppler. So now we're going to focus on the RVOT, so I'm going to slide over here. This is her pulmonic valve. You can see that pulmonic insufficiency or pulmonic regurg. So you are going to clip store, let me change my box a little bit. Clip store there. You're also going to do your continuous wave again. Oh, that gets me every time. You can see a little bit more of that pulmonic insufficiency here, more in early diastole, still very minimal. So you'll still put your cursor here. You'll still measure your PI at the end. In diastole, that's where you would put your cursor. And then pulse wave. And then you would store. And just, I know a lot, I don't know how much y'all know, this is not going to work. You got to make sure that you've got your baseline. A lot of them are just easy twist turn knobs. Just make sure that you kind of got it centered here. So if it's something doesn't look quite right, like if you're taking your image, well, that I can't even show that. Let me show this. You may have to adjust your scale if you see a lot of aliasing and you can't quite figure. You're just going to make sure that you kind of get your image. I can't even mess it up with this one. I'm trying to mess it up, but I can't. You just want to make sure that you can get a full window and that you're not causing a lot of aliasing. So just be mindful of where your baseline is and what you're looking at. Of course, we wouldn't want to take anything like that. A little trick, because I just figured out your magic button, your Q scan, your I scan. If you're in Doppler, you can press that. That'll help adjust your baseline. Not all the time is it going to work, so don't guarantee that that's going to make your image perfect, but that does help. So always remember your I scan or your Q scan button. All right, so then you're going to take pulmonary artery and branches here. We can kind of see here. So this is pulmonic valve. This is the pulmonary artery. You can kind of see left for sure. Right, I believe, is somewhere tucked in here. But it's just where kind of like bifurcation, we're into the right and left pulmonary artery. So you're going to image store that, and you're going to put color at the bifurcation. And I know that seems very silly to do, but and y'all will learn this more in your pathology. You could find a shunt or a hole here. I've seen this twice as an adult in adult patients where they were born with a congenital defect and didn't realize it until they were adult. You're looking for any abnormal shunting there, and if you were to see that, it would be red because you think blue is moving away from us, so it's being squeezed away from us. It's going to the lungs. If you ever see red coming back in, usually it'll be a continuous red jet. You know that shouldn't be there, because that means it's sending flow back the wrong direction. So this is where you would also clip store. And I'm pretty sure that covers parasternal and short axis. Anybody have any questions?